going over that Sephiroth and seems to have locked it in.
Okay.
So, actually opting instead to not try out the Samus yet. We're going to be going for that Sephiroth, who RAMBOSS has been putting a lot of time into.
Well, obviously it is a best of 5, so you've got a little bit more time to experiment with your characters. You're not necessarily as reliant. We saw that with Wing as well, going Terry game 1. But we'll see how this turns out. I think RAMBOSS has actually been working on a Seph for a pretty long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, this is definitely a big test.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like, certainly the Sephiroth is no stranger to RAMBOSS's kit. He does, tend to pull out the character a fair bit. And we've seen him even use the characters like, sort of tournaments like boss battles. We saw him a little bit at Manchester Conquest 7 using the Sephiroth. So certainly this is nothing new. But, eMass already doing a very, very nice job of just racking up damage. But you do see RAMBOSS with that wing and eMass just trying to eliminate that, as quickly as it appears almost.
Yeah, it feels like eMass has kind of been all over RAMBOSS. He's not really been able to get away.
Yeah, like, of course, Joker being such a quick character, makes it difficult to get away. Of course, Sephiroth not the fastest character in the world. And it really does feel like, eMass has just been batting away RAMBOSS from left to right, right to left, just never really giving RAMBOSS a chance to actually stay on the stage for too long. Of course, Arsene is out as well, soon to be going away, but RAMBOSS taking a very unexpected kill there, trading with that upbeat and actually sending eMass to their death first.
Yeah, and eMass has kind of struggled to kill. Sephiroth is not a heavy character, but RAMBOSS has lived all the way to 160, and eMass has just been unable to find any kind of kill confirm. A back throw will finally take it.
Yeah, and you could see it like a few times as well that eMass was actually just diving down there, trying to get that Rebel's guard up, just to build up a little bit more Arsene. Finally, making its appearance here as well. And this is where eMass really starts to erupt.
Yeah.
It really starts to erupt
Yeah,
with just a few hits. A few hits, Jackie, is all it takes. When Arsene is out, that's all eMass needs to take away your stock.
He threw out 3 bears off stage, and you knew one of them was going to hit, and he was just going to die.
No.
And he's already at 70.
Oh, and you can see him go for that forward smash as well. They were trying to end it all right there, but RAMBOSS still living for a little bit longer. You could see them play a little bit more defensively, but another forward smash.
Out.
Inevitable as time itself. Another one connects, this time without Arsene, but you're still dead regardless.
Yeah, it's interesting the use of down tilt there instead of something like F tilt, which is a lot safer. We didn't see a lot of F tilt fair, or at least not as much as we probably should have. There was a lot of nair.
Yeah, and it definitely felt like, RAMBOSS just kind of didn't seem to have any sort of moment where he could get hits in. He sort of just found these small ones here and there, and of course got that unexpected upbeat kill as well in that first stock. But it definitely just seemed like, eMass was just batting them away constantly. They were always in their face, not really giving RAMBOSS a chance to actually do anything. And especially when Sephiroth is a character, again, so almost similar to Cloud that we were talking about before with having that big range to him. eMass was just not letting RAMBOSS use that range at all to their advantage.
Yeah, every time he tried to dash back, eMass would just follow him because his dash was bigger. And RAMBOSS would try and dash back and forward air, and he just wasn't able to do it at the time.
Yeah, of course, we are, sort of, after all that, RAMBOSS actually just decided, they are going to go for that Samus in the end. They're going to go for the tried and tested main. And almost immediately we saw what we were talking about, before these two sat down, where, it's a problem for sort of, RAMBOSS in that, eMass can just sit there with that Rebel's guard up and take those big hits, like the charge shot. And it was immediately what we saw, where it just basically filled up that gauge almost, super quickly. And now, as soon as Arsene comes out, that is big, big problems for RAMBOSS.
Yeah, almost that entire stock was just Arsene. Both the damage and I think the kill was actually just when Arsene ran out.
Yeah, exactly. And, it's kind of what I think we are going to be just seeing constantly, where eMass is going to be just taking those projectiles with that Rebel's guard. But then as soon as Arsene comes out, they're going to be in there. Okay, RAMBOSS just sort of poking away, trying to sort of a little bit of sort of just close the gap. But you can see, they're sort of just trying to sort of bait, eMass to drop that shield. But eMass playing very, very patiently, very, very nicely. you know, where they're just not going to let themselves get caught by anything.
Just going for a raw F smash. eMass, like, you can tell that he doesn't use his kill confirms that often. Or at least I haven't seen him go for fair one that often. That's basically the first time I've seen it, ironically. So he'll use like a lot more of the riskier raw stuff. There you go.
Yeah.
And now you can see that he's kind of stopping and making sure that he is using a bit more of his confirms when he's not got Arsene. Because otherwise it can be really difficult to find a kill without Arsene.
Yeah, and you know, you can definitely see that, you know, RAMBOSS really kind of struggling here to actually just find those hits again, because it is exactly what we talk about, where it's a problem that, you know, RAMBOSS can zone, but then they'll just get caught, you know, by that Rebel's Guard, fill up a gauge, that Arsene comes out quicker. But if they go in too close, then you're battling away with Joker, who could still Rebel's Guard and still take the hits and fill up the gauge even faster. So it's kind of, you're almost inevitably going to be meeting that Arsene, and that's the thing you want to avoid. And in this kind of matchup, it's difficult for RAMBOSS to avoid it. Okay, these two just sort of duking it out off stage, but again, I really like the use of eMass's guns, you know, just to really kind of just stall and interrupt his opponent's recoveries. We saw him doing it a lot at Smashpoint 4 last weekend, where he was very much just kind of going very sort of aerial, keeping up in the sky, just, you know, and then using those guns just to really just interrupt, you know, his opponent's recoveries and just, you know, cause them to air dodge. And oh my goodness, what? I'm sorry.
All the way out.
I'm sorry, eMass.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Go ahead then.
Yeah, sure. You know, why not? Yeah. Yeah, eMass just really just...
A head turner, that one.
That was really, that really was. It was so out of nowhere as well. They were kind of just, you know, having a sort of a bit of a struggle off stage, and then suddenly, that boss is dead. There's just no coming back.
Like, you think eMass is just going to kind of sit there and stand in front of where RAMBOSS wants to be in the stage and force him to go super low, but he just goes all the way out and doesn't care. Like, I don't have to make it back if you die. Yeah,
that's the thing. And with eMass holding on to so many stocks as he did, you know, it just wasn't a problem for him to do that either. It was like, yeah, as you say, if I die, yeah, it's fine. You know, I've got enough stock to play for. But, you know, of course, big bad news for RAMBOSS, you know, as he does lose the game to it. Going to be going back to that Samus here for this game 3, and this is all to play for now if RAMBOSS wants to keep his dream alive and make it into that top 8. So, of course, both these players just sort of just waiting out. You can see already eMass just closing the gap, using those guns as well, just once again, just to interrupt what RAMBOSS did, you know, and even just, you know, on a sort of bigger note as well, interrupting that tether, because Samus does tend to sort of poke sort of upwards a little bit when they do use that tether. So eMass just using those guns just to kind of interrupt it, maybe force a panic air dodge out of RAMBOSS. You know, it's absolute genius.
Yeah, it was really, really smart. And eMass is kind of on the edge of a 3-0 at this point. RAMBOSS picking town again. I guess just wanting a stage it's really wide, it's really flat too. But,
yeah, I mean, having those kind of those Final Destination-esque you know, aspects to it, you know, when those platforms do go away, so giving RAMBOSS just a flat stage to work with where eMass can't retreat, you know, and can basically sort of just, RAMBOSS can play it sort of in a very sort of linear way. But, you know, it's really just been playing to eMass's advantage at this point, where he's just been in their face constantly. And again, using those guns just to keep RAMBOSS in that disadvantaged state.
Yeah, like, the wideness of the stage also means the ledge to blast zone is really small. And you could see eMass using that, like, Joker and regular Bear almost never kills. But we saw it kill there because it was 155 and it was on the town platform. And so he just has more options to do stuff like that. Yeah,
exactly. And, you know, honestly, RAMBOSS, you know, just trying to find any kind of big hit he can. You know, Samus, a lot of her kit is, you know, sort of based around just getting those big charge shots in. But we're just seeing time and time again eMass just using those Rebel's Guard just to sap it all up and just bring out the big boy Arsene even quicker. And that is such a problem for RAMBOSS here. And eMass, again, just going so far out there to take that stock away, while RAMBOSS still not able to, you know, take away even eMass's first one. Okay, these two just zoning away, but finally RAMBOSS, yeah, finally RAMBOSS, you know, finding that one charge shot there. Actually just identifying that, eMass had gone for that Rebel's Guard and just waiting it out and then launching the charge shot is really good patience from them. But, again, eMass just now, saying, okay, yeah, you got my stock. Yeah, that's fine. Because I can take your stock away just as quick.
Yeah, and he's almost got it. And there it is. And again, being able to use regular bear as just a kill option just because of how small the ledge to blast zone on town is a really great thing for Joker, who doesn't have a lot of raw kill options without Arsene.
Yeah, exactly. And, sort of, it's so interesting because we're sort of seeing it where, Samus, without kind of, being able to use a charge shot without it getting ate up by that Rebel's Guard, sort of struggles a little bit to kill. And then at the same time, eMass, struggling a little bit with the normal Joker.
Really
but,
great weight.
yeah, absolutely fantastic patience. But RAMBOSS still hanging on. But that counter coming out. Good tech from them. But RAMBOSS still hanging on by an absolute thread here. They need to play so carefully. And eMass just not letting it happen. Throwing out that side beat out basically at the blast zone. But RAMBOSS still hanging on here. Literally determined not to, but finally that back air is going to seal it up. And eMass taking the win 3-0 and landing themselves into that top 8 qualifier. Sorry, into top 8 itself. That was the qualifier. So, yes, going to be sitting comfortably in the top 8 now. Very, very nice stuff that eMass really just, again, just always in their face. Didn't allow...
Constantly...
Yeah, didn't allow RAMBOSS to really kind of just zone away or do what he wanted to do. And, that was where I think kind of RAMBOSS fell down, that he didn't have the space to work with. So...